We're back here in the locker room with Billy Schweim on 97.3 ESPN. It's the Eagles pregame show. Of course, we have full coverage of the Eagles today. 97.3 ESPN, Mike and Merle with the call. As always, you want to turn down your TV. You want to turn up your radio. And you want to listen to Mike and Merle with the call right here on 97.3 ESPN. And now it's time for our Where Are They Now segment in conjunction and collaboration with our good friend Ken Dunnick from the Jersey Man, Philly Man magazine. So let's go to the Barb's Harley-Davidson Sports Hotline and welcome into the locker room former linebacker for the Philadelphia Eagles, John Bunting. Good morning, John.
Hey, Billy. Good to be with you, brother.
Hey, John, you're the perfect guy to talk a little bit about the Eagles today because of the dysfunction. You were a player and then a head coach, so we'll get to that. But before we get started, John, tell our listeners, what are you doing now with yourself?
Well, I am living in Naples, Florida in the wintertime, and it is absolutely stunningly beautiful down here and warm. 13 years on the Philly AstroTurf. That took a toll on my body. So I love the warmth. I got a cabin up in Maine for the summertime. So we escape the heat in the summer, go up there and live 8 feet off the water on a lake up there. I've got a good lifestyle going right now.
Well, you deserve it, John, because you provided Philly fans with great memories and, part of the fabric of our football society we'll never forget, especially with that team that you played with. Dick Vermeil was your head coach. He went to the 80 Super Bowl. I know you'll never forget that. John, one thing with Ken Dunnick provides us, the former players, a lot of your teammates, every one of them, they all make mention of how hard that turf was up at the vet.
Yes, it was. Well, the dual stadiums were built for baseball and football, and they certainly didn't want a soft surface. They wanted it hard as a rock, so the ball would bounce. Right. So, hey, all of us suffered. St. Louis was horrible. Pittsburgh was horrible. Houston was horrible. But Philly, I think, got the reputation as being the worst.
Yeah, there's been numerous counts. There's one player, I can't remember who it was. He came down, caught the ball, and blew both knees out at the same time.
I remember that. That was.
I can't remember who that was.
Can't remember who it was, but I remember that both knees went on the same play. Wow.
John, do you get a chance to watch the Eagles on a weekly basis?
I don't get to watch them every week. We down here in Florida, unfortunately, we don't have NFL ticket with our TV package, so we have the Red Zone though. So I'm doing as much as I can to be able to watch them, and have suffered like most of the Eagle fans have this year with the results. Just not good. It just doesn't look like a team that won a Super Bowl a couple of years ago.
Now, John, you coached in the NFL. You also were the head coach down there at North Carolina. By the way, your Tar Heels really ran roughshod over the Hurricanes last night.
Oh, my goodness. 2 runners ran for over 500 yards?
I don't think I've ever – it's unbelievable. It's the first time it's ever happened in an FBS game.
They set a record. It's nice to be able to run the football. And interestingly enough, the offensive coordinator for the UNC Tar Heels is our former player from Glassboro State, now Rowan, Phil Longo. He played for us for 3 years, transferred from East Stroudsburg, and I followed his career as he went through Youngstown and Minnesota Duluth and Sam Houston State and Ole Miss, and now is the OC at UNC. I'm just so thrilled and so proud of Phil Longo, what he has achieved with that offense. I mean, they're unstoppable.
That's unbelievable. They played. That was a great game last night. I watched some of that.
It really was, and very, very proud of him. Very happy that Mac Brown is back in town because that man is an expert recruiter, and when he was out of the game for a few years, I'm sure he learned even a great deal more when he traveled the country working for ESPN.
Now, we're talking with John Bunting, former Eagles linebacker, went to the Super Bowl with the team, coached in the NFL with the Chiefs, the Rams, the Saints. and of course college with North Carolina Glassboro State. But John, we hear so much from so many people how the game has changed, and the problem with the Eagles is they don't have a balanced offensive attack. They don't run the ball. I think they're they run the ball the least amount of times, like 30% of the time, 32% or something like that. Um, I hate that when I hear the game has changed. I think that the basic premise of football is to have a balanced attack, keep your opponent off their toes, don't be predictable, and beat them up. Go right after them. Am I wrong?
Well, no, you're not wrong at all. If you can do that, you should do that, and not everybody can. Ken Dunnick, who played with us on the Super Bowl team 1980, Super Bowl 15, also was a teammate of mine when we played with the Philadelphia Stars. I played 3, I played 2, and then I got into coaching. But each one of the circumstances where we went to a Super Bowl with the Eagles, we had a really good offensive line. We really did. And we had a couple good runners. We actually had 3 running backs, Louis Giamona, Billy Campfield, and, of course, Wilbert Montgomery was a great runner. With the Stars, we had a offensive line that could have been in any NFL team. I mean, Chuck Trubisky and Bart Oates and brother Brad Oates and we had an offensive line that Irv Eatman was a superior offensive tackle. He was a load. And, we had a guy named Kelvin Bryant and David Duck Riley and Alan Harvin running the football or blocking. We dominated. I mean, Chuck Casina was a great quarterback for our offense because we moved the pocket some, we ran the football some, we bootlegged some, and he was a ham and egg guy, and that's how I picture Wentz. I feel bad for Wentz. I am so glad that they're making a change right now, change the dynamic. You're about ready to lose the team, I think, unless you do something to stir it up. So I'm hopeful that they could do something with the quarterback today, get him out there on the edge.
John, as a head coach, when you're 3-8-1 and you're suffering through a lot of injuries, you're losing. There who knows what could be going on, and maybe there could be some dissension in the locker room. I'm not suggesting there is, but as a head coach, is the team already lost? What can you do? What can you say to get you out of this funk?
There's not much you can say. You've got to get the coaches to rally around the players. And the players have somehow, some way, they've got to rally. They got to quit being anxious to leave the locker room, get in their cars, and go home. They got to have some fun at practice. They got to have some fun at meetings. You got to do some things to change things up some, so that the players get a little fresh. Now, if the offensive line comes together, things might get a little bit better. I mean, they do not have a running game, as we both know.
But they have Miles Sanders, who has a 5.3 yard rushing average per attempt. I mean, he's only rushed the ball 20 times or more once this year. Once. I mean, it seems like Doug Peterson gets away from the run when something goes bad.
Yeah. Well, defensively, they haven't played as well as they've played in the past, as we both know. But the defense relies upon the offense to at least hold the ball some and not turn it over. So you've got an offensive line that is like a revolving door, and you've got a quarterback that's, I think, become very shaky in the pocket, and I think has lost a lot of confidence. So the one thing you could do is make the change and sell that product that he is going to help, and hopefully he can do some things that he did in college, and spread the field out. Get people out there on the edge in space, and that includes the quarterback. Get him out there. Let him play. Let him play.
All right, John, I wish we had a lot more time, but it's a short segment. We really appreciate it. I'm glad you're doing well, and you've always been a great friend in the locker room. We thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Let's go Birds today.